All right, so in part 4, we're going to look at an example taking into account infant mortality rates and race to examine some of the impacts of racism. So if we look at the leading causes of infant death, and this is looking at 2017 data, or it's actually looking at 2016 and 17 data in the United States, we can see that top bar there, those top two bars there, that the top cause of infant death is congenital malformations, but the second one is low birth weight, and those two account for a lot of the reasons for infant mortality in the United States. And so when we also, another thing to look at when we look at infant mortality rates has to do with race and ethnicity. So when we look at the infant mortality rates broken down by race and ethnicity, we see that for women who are non-Hispanic Black, they have the highest infant mortality rates. And this is looking at 2016 data from the Centers of Disease Control. And so what research has shown is that institutionalized and individual racist like individual racism and the way people carry the weight of racism impacts our health. And so what we're going to explore today is the idea that maybe it also impacts women who are pregnant and their pregnancies and their babies. Another piece of data that we can look at here are preterm births by race. And so when a baby is born early, the baby is more likely to be lower birth weight because in those last few weeks of gestation, the baby's gaining weight, gaining a lot of weight during that time and getting ready to be born. And so if you recall, one of those leading causes of death is low birth weight. So if they're born earlier, more likely to be low birth weight, more likely to die. And so what this is showing here is that we've actually seen a decline of preterm births between 2007 to 2015, but then it actually increased between 2015 to 2018. And so since the second leading cause of infant death is low birth weight, we should be concerned that this number is going up and that it is different for women of different races. So what is going on here? One thing that we might also consider is education. As we've been talking about, education makes a difference in everything, and it also makes a difference in infant mortality rates. So this is looking at maternal education attainment out of 36 states and DC in 2012, looking at the total number of women on the one side, on the left side here, and then looking at the different education levels. And as you can see there, that women who have less than a high school diploma are the most likely to have babies who die, and then this number decreases by education. And so the less education one has, the more likely they are to have a baby who dies. And so this is going to be a factor in terms of infant mortality. So what you are going to do next is you are going to watch two short videos. The first one's about 6 minutes. The second one is about 4 minutes. And they're linked below this this video or this lecture. So watch those two and then come back for the conclusion of part 4 of the lecture.